Hello and welcome to the fourth game from this Mr. 5 set between Toblerone and Terminus. This game is part of the Sunbros 1v1 no crates tournament, where the special rule is you're not allowed to send any resource crate shipments. No 700 gold FFs, no 700 wood, age 2 openings. And for the fourth game, we've got both players kind of playing a civ that the other player has lost with, I think. No, not quite. But both playing a civ that the other player has played already in the set. So we've got Toblerone on the east side here of Hokkaido playing as the aggressive Russia. And we've got Terminus playing as the potentially, if I select the right player and I'm talking about them, the potentially aggressive, but slightly more flexible Haude V. And we see as they're picking up treasure, it doesn't look like either side is going for a early TP. Haude V putting their opening travois just into a... Oh no, putting their opening travois into a dock. So we're going to see some water play here on Hokkaido. That is exciting. So 3 boats queued up immediately in age 1. A fair bit of wood gathering required to support that. Deck not selected yet, but here we go. It's a no crates deck. It does have the 2 war canoes in it for age 2. But not much else. Quite a lot of gold costing mercenary cards. We have Town Destroyer and the 676 units and the Fort Kanye, so there's all the cards you need for the classic Haude V Rush in there. That remains an option, although probably not now that the dock is down. It'll be interesting. We'll check in a minute or two whether Toblerone has managed to spot that dock. But there's so much else to do on this beautiful island with your Explorer that I imagine it's quite plausible that they might not spot it at all. Toblerone saying, "Where's the treasure?" Oh, I'm sorry to tell you, Toblerone, they're all gone. Look how few treasures we got left already. There's a little 80 XP up here, 90 coin, sad face, 70 food back towards the base. Didn't spot that, didn't go quite into the corner there near their own trade route. But yeah, that can be frustrating obviously when you see the opponent picking up all the treasures. No human guardians for Haude V to convert on this map. Oh, and the Explorer woes go from bad to worse because not only is the Haude V Warchief turned up to give some grief here to Ivan Vasiliev, but oh, no, he doesn't manage to get the steal, but I think he is going to take Ivan out for the time being. Meanwhile, Russia aging up with the Quartermaster, 400 wood. Haude V aging up with the Messenger, so aging up fast, plus they get a travois for being Haude V. 3 villagers coming forward for Russia to build their forward blockhouse. I mean, this is all pretty much by the book play so far. Obviously, with those crates not available, we're going to see slightly different age 2s to what you would typically, especially for Russia, who quite like sending in 700 wood here. But Haude V very happy to open up with Fort Kanye. I don't think they're getting this travois down into a war hut fast enough to put the Kanye out of it, but that probably won't matter. They'll probably be happy for them to arrive all at once. Warchief getting in the way a bit. Finally, Vasiliev is going to go down here. The Explorer tries to grief these villagers who are building the blockhouse a little bit, but not going to get anywhere with that. 2000 HP war hut sits next to a 2000 HP blockhouse. They've got exactly the same stats. And now it's just a race to see who's going to train the most units the fastest. 5 Tomahawks coming in from the blockhouse and an extra one to start the next batch. We've also got 4 Kanye horsemen here. They're going to go straight past the Russian blockhouse and try and see what they can find in terms of villagers. Note that Haudenosaunee did not pre-scout the enemy base, so don't know where the hunts are, but they managed to find one anyway because it was right in the front prime position. Those Tomahawks are also out too and started sieging down the blockhouse. Kanya's now diverting north. Don't really know what they're going to find there, but at least they're out of trouble. Russia was forced to briefly garrison villages. 2 villages, hasn't popped them out yet, but can do so. Got 13 Streletsy, so that's the 13 Streletsy shipment. Russia's first shipment in age 2. Out at that blockhouse. That's enough to deter these 7 Tomahawks. 6 Tomahawk shipment coming in. Also 1 in batch. Potentially not going to fill that batch out. So something like 14 Tomahawks going to be available soon. I'm not sure whether Haudenosaunee used the big button. I think they might have, based on just how many Tomahawks they got out that quickly. But I'm not 100% on that. Some Porochiks coming out now. These, so they're not really great units, but they'll be able to help out with the siege on that war hut a bit as well. Going to try and chase down these Kanye, but they are far too slow to keep up with the Kanye unless the Kanye choose to stick here on top of the Streletsy, which they sort of are, but they sort of aren't. they're just giving the Streletsy trouble without actually attacking them, which is a novel tactic, I'll admit. Yeah, now everyone shuffling around, a bit of an awkward skirmish here, units going in and out. But I think Streletsy, the Porochiks go down to the Tomahawks, then the Streletsy start going down to the Kanya Horsemen. A bunch of Cossacks popping out now for Russia, but guess what? Those Cossacks are in turn going to go down to the Tomahawks. Things are looking good now for Haudenosaunee in terms of the tempo of this rush, and we see Russia putting down some backup blockhouses back in the base. This blockhouse is well lost at this point to just 15 Tomahawks. Now, Haudenosaunee haven't really had any reinforcements for about a minute and 10, maybe a minute 20 seconds there. Just achieved all of that with those 15 Tomahawks and the 4 Kanye, which they sacrificed onto the Porochiks and the Streletsy. Now they're getting back into gear, though. They've got their houses and everything they need. Got a batch of Tomahawks on the way. Going to be able to fill that out to probably 4. Keep an eye on that and see whether it makes it up to 5. Got 7 Aena as well, who are going to supplement the numbers here really nicely. Just 3 Tomahawks as it turns out from that batch. But now, yeah, Haudenosaunee got 21 Tomahawks, and it's kind of an interesting question, you know. What are they going to do with it, and what have Russia got to stop it? At the moment, Russia have got absolutely nothing sat in base. Sending in medicine, which I do not think would be their preference. Maybe even 6 Porochiks would be, you know, a bit desperate. Maybe 4 Cossacks to try and snipe the Aena. But they need something here because there's big pressure from this Haudenosaunee force. 5 Ruskets sitting in base for Russia. Steel traps coming in. Again, I think these are slightly greedy plays when you've got a big enemy army to worry about. No Streletsy in queue. I think Russia wants to be getting 20 Streletsy out of these 2 blockhouses absolutely ASAP if they're going to survive in this game, because I think this Haudenosaunee force constitutes a real problem for them right now. And you know, Haudenosaunee haven't got any access to Cav, so now is the point where you can, you know, they've used their 4 Kanyes. You can just go big time, do what Russia do and go big time loads of Streletsy here. But yeah, it's just 5 recruits and the town centre firing at the moment. Villagers kind of popping in and out of the town centre from Russia as they're pressured. So it's not firing at full capacity here. Just chipping away at this Haudenosaunee force. They have managed to get it down to 16 Tomahawks, but obviously, look at this. There's another, what is that, 12? There's another 13 coming in now from the back, because Haudenosaunee are still going to keep, you know, they've got this mass at the front. They're seeing it going unchallenged, and they're going to keep piling on that pressure and see how much damage they can achieve with it. Now Russia have just 10 Streletsy out, which I can tell you is not really enough to win a fight here at this point at all. Investing in the 10% combat upgrade for all of the infantry, which is nice, useful, sure. But I'm really worried that Russia could just get steamrolled here at any moment the Haudenosaunee player chooses to go all in. We'll check in on the ecos. Russia down to 18 villagers. I imagine they've lost quite a few to the pressure around here because, yeah, how do you end up on 18 villagers? Not sure if they've been consistently training. We'll have to check the graph on that one. Haudenosaunee up to a big 34. That includes 8 fishing boats. So really got good value from that investment in the starting traveller in the dock. Now getting harassed by a single sad lone Cossack that I'm guessing was kind of evacuated from that 5 Cossacks shipment skirmish because I don't see a stable down for Russia. Does manage to cause a lot of disruption. Probably, probably a good 200 or 300 resources lost there from making those villagers walk all the way down from that hunt and all the way back up. Potentially more than that, actually. But yeah, the writing, it's kind of feels like it's on the wall here because I don't see a way for Russia to catch up in terms of eco. I mean, they're sending some units forward here. I absolutely don't think they're in any position to be taking on a fight because this army is way smaller in effective terms once you factor in the fact that Streletsy are very weak and Ruskits are also weaker than Tomahawks. Absolutely not in any shape to be taking a fight here. And unfortunate micro there, the Cav absolutely finding their way on top of the Streletsy. The Ruskiteers all taken out and unable to guard them. And now Russia have to fall back on their town centre and block houses to defend themselves, which the Haudenosaunee are going to respect. I mean, I think, frankly, we're just waiting for Terminus to decide that this game is over. But yeah, the Haudenosaunee respecting Russia's buildings for now and choosing not to push in. 6 projects coming out, which is going to help a tiny bit. In terms of Russia's resources, taking a hunt here at the top of the base. Haudenosaunee not really got any way to engage with that. Haudenosaunee have found the time to invest in a stable here. You know, they've had absolutely loads of time where they've had this army, not been using it to pressure or block or anything, but they have been able to just build it up bigger and bigger. And have found the time to invest in a stable as well, so they've got 6 Kanyas available, which is really useful in terms of stopping the Russians just going for mass, straight and enormous numbers of Streletsy. Kanya's floating around a bit here. Going to lose quite a lot of their HP before they actually manage to connect on top of the Streletsy. But the core is this army, this massive group of 33 Tomahawks is unfazed. They managed to take down the first blockhouse already. I think Terminus probably slightly overvaluing these blockhouses. You know, they're not massively dangerous. They don't do a huge attack. I think prioritizing clearing out these units would be the best thing to do. But it doesn't really matter because, yeah, there's enough here to take out this Russian base. And the GG comes in from Toblerone. And so, by my maths, that is a 3-1 result for the set to Terminus. So we'll just do a quick check of the graphs here. In terms of villages, yeah, you can see Haudenosaunee obviously taking advantage of the dock to race ahead in early H2, and I'm sure that helped them out a great deal. And in terms of, yeah, the military count, yeah, and it was a big advantage for Haudenosaunee, and of course you've got to factor in that those Russian units are lower quality, so to be kind of down by a ratio of 3 to 2, maybe 2 to 1 in for most of that is just not a good place to be in as Russia. Yeah, I think that was a pretty handy win for Haudenosaunee. Really good decision to go from the docks there, and I think a good demonstration of the Civ's power that they were able to take that dock, invest in 3 fishing boats out the bat, more fishing boats. I think the total is 8 at the end of the game, and still get, what was it, the 4 in that very early skirmish here by the two blockhouses. They had 4 Kanye, 5 Tommers, I think a big button for 5 more Tommers, and then an unfinished batch of like 3 Tommers. And that was before they'd started to get into their 676 of military unit shipments. And that's a real demonstration of how like powerful Haudenosaunee's early H2 can be. Russia, unfortunately, once the momentum was kicked out from under their ankles, it kind of fell apart a little bit. Lost villager production and lost their blockhouse. Had to rebuild there, and yeah, never really got back in terms of building up enough mass to recontest the game. But a good job there from Toblerone. So as I was saying, the sets is now 3-1, so I understand that to be a win for Terminus, but I do see that there is a game 5, so I guess the players decided to play out the 5th game anyway. So I'll be excited to record a cast for that one as well anyway, and I will hopefully join you for that. But for now, that's all, and GG.